Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. It's a great day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we're here with another interesting person doing something interesting. It's like, can you believe it? It's amazing. So, Marisa, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being part of the pirate community now.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm officially a pirate.
I've been watching your show for a while, and we connected some months ago. And I'm busy behind the scenes, so I'm well. Plus, the time thing is kind of like, oh man, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Got to get up, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we were talking before the show, and we've had these conversations before. And one of the things that we all understand as entrepreneurs and business owners is the idea that they're, challenging times and these moments where you have to kind of double down and say, okay, I just need to get this done. It's not an overnight success. It's not, all of a sudden you're famous. It's marathon, and so you have to kind of have the right mindset. How do you kind of evolve into the mindset that you've had and you're growing and talk about your story?
So thank you again for asking. I started kind of doing all the things. I was let go from my corporate job about 5 or 6 years ago. And I was kind of like a scarcity mindset. Like, I just need to, make some logos here. Maybe I'll do a website, set up a Facebook page. It's kind of like this early Facebook, when people were barely, oh, what? I don't need a Facebook page, setting those things up. And there was no like business mindset behind it. It was like, ooh, I'm going to be this freelancer. Like, this is cool. And I'm like, okay, now I'm looking back, I'm like, wow, like I totally could have set it up because I had, some excess like unemployment to kind of keep me like steady until I built my business. But anyways, I was doing like tons of things, and I was like, okay, I'm going to invest my time into social media marketing. And, clients were smaller, bigger, couldn't invest. And then my friend was telling me that I needed to start showing my face because I was like basically hiding behind a logo. And I think that, that goes along with what we were talking about, the self-limiting beliefs. Like, no one wants to see, I'm in social media, no one wants to see me as like, out in the open. But every time I had good connections like in person, and I was always doing sales in person, like at networking meetings. And so I just started doing videos, like live videos. Terrifying, like super terrifying. And I look back at some of those, I'm like, what was I doing? But I did it, right? So I just kept getting more comfortable and just being very myself, and one of my tricks is like not to look at the videos like after I post, because you'll just critique it like, oh, I could have done this, I could have said certain things, and you can't go back and change that. It's out on the internet forever, pretty much, so focusing on working on my mindset was really like one of the ways that like changed my business. Like, I'm a business owner, I am doing what I can to build value and build community and bring people in, and that's what I needed to focus on. And go ahead.
It seems like when you add value, whenever you possibly can add value, that's when it really starts to take off. That's what I noticed about you, is that you always attempt to add value in the equation.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think, it does come back to like your core values, like my core values to give back. Like, I always do, like, I was just thinking this morning about like the Thanksgiving, we usually do with my friends, we do like the Thanksgiving adopt a family type thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, how is that going to happen this year? Like, can it happen with, COVID restrictions and strangers? And like, are we going to be safe enough? If we're putting gloves on, it's, there's all these like things coming into my head, but it's like, I always went with that mindset. Like, if I give back where I can, it'll come back to me eventually. And it has, thankfully. So, there's a lot of mix in there. I skipped a lot of things, but it's really just kind of focusing on who you are as a person and really just trying to stay the course as hard as it can be, because you will have, I'm not going to lie, like I've stayed up till 2 a.m. before, and then I wake up at 5 and I'm like, oh my God, I had 3 hours of sleep. Like, I'm such a great entrepreneur. And it's like, no, like this is like, I need my sleep now. It's like, okay, I was in bed by 8 last night, and I'm not gonna like wear it as a badge of honor, like, yeah, I had such a long day and like I went to sleep at 8, but it's like, I know that now I'm here fully present to be here with you, and then also for the rest of my day, and not just go back to sleep or do whatever.
The other thing that I've noticed, on my entrepreneurial journey, and I've been in and out, and I've always had a side hustle and a business and everything else.
Mhm.
Even when I was in corporate, I always had something going on, and it's almost as if it's a path that isn't well defined for most individuals,
Mhm.
and sometimes you get off on the path and you have to correct yourself and say, okay, well, that didn't isn't exactly what's working out, so I have to
Yeah.
make adjustments and corrections. And after you left corporate America and started your
Mhm.
journey, I know there's probably a lot of false starts and things you're going, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not really what I thought it was, and I'm not really
Mhm.
into doing that and adding value in that area because it doesn't bring me joy. So that has to
Mhm.
be a balance of like, okay, what value can I bring, and
Mhm.
what brings me joy and alignment in what I'm doing and what I believe in.
Right.
And I think video triggered a couple of other events in your life where you're now working for StreamYard and
Yeah.
doing some really cool projects. So talk a little bit
Mhm.
about that process and the journey that ended up in getting into video even more.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. There, you're right, there is a balance, and there was many false starts. Like, when I tell people, before I get into the oops, I didn't turn off my sound. Sorry, I didn't hear that. The um the false starts were kind of like a mix of like, I want to be an entrepreneur, and then also you need to do all these things to be an entrepreneur and be like out there on social media, and like it's imposter syndrome, right? Like, I need to be on all these platforms. I need to be posting every day. I need to have a course. I need to be speaking. I need to do all these things. I need to go to networking events when networking events were things,
Yes.
right? And now it's, you know, I realize people are like, oh, you're an extrovert. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. I'm an introvert, but I have to like force myself out there, and like, I'll sit in a networking event and like be in the back or like on the side, because I don't, I'm just like, can I bring someone value, one person,
Yeah.
that's it for me. And then I realized I was just going to too many events just to go to events and be seen.
It's a
And I was,
it's a
yeah,
form of procrastination.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I could go to this networking event, or I could go home, get in my pajamas, and watch Netflix and relax and decompress for the day. So it's like, oh, after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the relaxing part, and that better prepared me for the next day when I needed to do like a proposal call or a live sales pitch or something like that.
Mhm.
So, anyways, it's I was experimenting with tools of going live, and I had done an audio podcast about 2 years ago, maybe
Uh-huh.
3 years ago. Started it, and I did everything. I'm recording, I'm getting guests, I'm sending emails, I'm you know cutting it up and putting it on social, and I made it through 39 episodes. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like this. it's too much work. Like, it's not that I didn't
Been
enjoy
there, done that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked the core of it was the conversations, but I
Yeah.
didn't like everything else around it. And then StreamYard came about, and I was like, I can use this to like do a podcast, interview people, talk to people, which is what I like to do, and also bring value to the community. Not just like, oh, me talking about people, but like, like what we're doing here, like having a conversation. What are you about? Who are you?
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do? And that spawned into more productions for different clients, from a speaking panel to a podcast to a book conversation series. I was just reviewing all the things I've done this year of all years where everyone's at home, and it's amazing the creativity you can do with live streaming. And also, I think it's important to remember that it's not about like who's watching it right now. It's how are you going to do it, like promote it later. Like, is your
Yeah.
live stream and your brand your core of your marketing strategy? And so there are a lot of, there's a lot of education around that, like not necessarily thinking about it like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. Like a lot of my clients don't want to.
Yeah.
But if they think about it in a different sense, like, but you have this video that you can then repurpose, you can post on your Instagram stories, you can, all these different like avenues for this type of video. It's definitely feasible in this day and age when everyone's looking to connect and see like who you are behind the business, um, and make it a little more fun other than like a boring Zoom meeting.
Make it approachable.
Yeah.
Have the opportunity to actually make connections and
Mhm.
build relationships is what
Yeah.
really, I think that's one of the most powerful things with video is you get to see the individual, you get to connect with them on a different level than if you
Right.
just have a phone call or send an email out.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives the business a face. It gives the business kind of a life. And
Mm-hmm.
the conversation could be much more in depth with video when you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And I think, especially this year, it's been kind of a curse and a blessing at the same time because so many people have been forced to be remote workers, and then they
Mm-hmm.
realize that it's not so bad. And
Yeah.
now organizations are saying, hey, I've been able to survive and thrive in my business
Mm-hmm.
with remote workers and the ability and the opportunity to continue to grow
Mm-hmm.
or at least to sustain the business.
Right.
And the message in that is that much what we're doing in the back office and helping people get to that point and
Mm-hmm.
producing shows, it creates an abundance of content that we historically would never have.
Right.
And with social media being so prevalent, all of a sudden you take this body of work and this video and audio and images and you micro content, you slice it up, and then all of a sudden a business owner has a lot of content that they can share out, and
Right.
all of a sudden you're visible and you have
Mm-hmm.
authority. So
Yeah, and you talk about the back office, like, oops, my light fell. They see this suction cup is not working, so the joys of live streaming. So I just got the suction cup yesterday.
well, I
So
noticed my mic wasn't in alignment, so it's like, okay, all
yeah.
right,
So am I good? Like, I guess
you're
it's
good, you're good.
okay.
Yeah.
But got off track a little bit. Yeah, the back office. It's like this is a new thing that a lot of people are embracing, getting on video. Like I'm still seeing people get on team calls without putting their video on. And it's like, I get it. I understand, it's not
Yeah.
normal. This is a new normal we're navigating, but it does beg the question, like how can you still connect with people on video and give and deliver value and good content. And I think, it's going to catch on eventually. I think still people are very weary of like, I mean, I did a poll last week. I don't know if you saw it on LinkedIn. Like I asked people if they watched live shows. I didn't get like tons of engagement because I'm, too busy producing shows. But like, a lot of people answered they don't watch live shows.
Yeah.
Which is, I understand that, but I think it's also like businesses need to like start getting into the groove of doing something. So when people are like, I've looked for businesses to kind of just validate them, like, are they even present online?
Yeah.
And can you talk to or reach the person, the book author, the business owner, whatever? Where are they present online, and do they exist? And if I find some live content or video and I see them talking, I'm like, okay, like they're legitimate, they're still committed to the
Yeah.
values that I represent or that I want to align with, and I'll go support their business. So
I
it's
find it really fascinating for business owners. The ones that say, my clients are not on social media are
mhm.
the same ones that said, why would I need a website?
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
And it's a lot of them are, that seems to be, and that may be true for some businesses, not all businesses. However, the secret sauce in that is that everybody deals with somebody, and that somebody typically right now in this day and age is online, in social, having conversations with either friends or family or other business owners. And if you're doing business with other owners, I mean, video has allowed me to have friends all over the world. It's
Oh yeah.
allowed me to build relationships. And all of my business right now is based on relationships.
Hmm.
It's not based on a sales funnel that's really magically working. It's not
Yeah.
based on secret sauce or ad spend or anything like that.
Hmm.
It's built on relationships. And I think business owners have an opportunity right now to do some, put some effort into video and actually get a lot of return on their investment. Even if people don't watch the initial piece of content,
Right.
there's still content available. So what are
Hmm.
your thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, I think it's true. Like my business is based on relationships, like who who you've talked to, who you've connected with. And I want a sales funnel sometimes, but then I'm
Yeah.
also like, oh, I'd rather sleep. I'd
Yeah.
rather not stay up till 2 a.m. So, I think if you're a business owner or you're thinking about growing your business, like you have your skill, you have your values, and
Mhm.
focus on the relationship part of it. Like connect with, you said, people in all different time zones. Like I think we were on a call yesterday where I was like, just tell me, I don't need to know your name anymore. Just tell me like your time zone. So like I
Yeah.
figure out, like right before this, I was on like 20 minutes of a board meeting from the UK. So like, it's like 4 o'clock their time or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hi, I'll be back later. Like, I'll see you later. But, it's just interesting how video has really like expanded my business, not just the business side, but like literally like really good friendships
Yeah.
and connections. Like it's, I'm kind of like, I live in San Diego, I'm from San Diego, but I feel like I could live anywhere, just because I feel like I might know someone or they'll know someone just to like kind of like keep me company, or, it's, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's for every business. I know some businesses that are very much like, they're too big in their ways or their processes already.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's also a way to do something internally with your company and really kind of like build the rapport there, because everyone is at home, like doing a quarterly meeting. That's
Yeah.
like, it's a production. It's not, hey, we're just getting on Zoom and like we're gonna watch one little box talk for the whole time. Like, no, you have to like, okay, like this is what's going on with our business, and these are the stars of Q3, and kind of like highlight them, or like
Yeah.
someone that doesn't know the HR manager from your office in the Midwest, you can like then introduce them, and they like rescue dogs. Like, oh, I rescue dogs too. And then you like build that connection and make people feel like the people matter in that business.
Well,
Right.
you're creating a culture.
Yeah. Right.
You're,
Exactly.
and you're creating a connection with individuals that you
Mhm.
may never know in a large organization,
Right. Yeah.
and somebody in the organization that has a little bit of ability to communicate and know a few other people. It would be really great. And I keep promoting this idea. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if the organization could have like a daily show or a weekly show and say, hey, if you need help in this area, here's the person you need to contact.
Yeah.
They live in so and so, and this is where
Right.
and this is what they're about, and this is who they are. I want to bring them on and say hi, and
Mm.
so you can get to know people,
Yeah.
and then just have a quick conversation, just like this.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be high production. It just has to be honest and
Hmm.
available.
Yeah.
And then you can share it out with the organization, even if you want to share it internally.
Hmm.
Just simple process.
Yeah. I think I want to talk about that because I think, especially in this time of being all at home and kind of like you can either watch Netflix, you can watch the news, like it's a time to have more conversations and really learn. And especially this year with, so much systemic racism being pushed to the forefront and us forcing ourselves to have these like really tough conversations, like
Mhm.
you don't know or get experience to people that are living in different areas or look different than you. So it's like there's ways for and it's kind of like the core of like what we're doing here is like we're having conversations to learn about okay, you're going to talk about my business, but then what's that next conversation? The next
Yeah.
conversation might be more deep, and you just do it more and you learn more. Like I've learned so much during this time, and it's like really kind of fascinating how like
Yeah.
the world has had to slow down, completely shut down a lot of things, and I've grown personally and professionally so much this year. So it's like it's that weird, thankfully no one directly has been affected by COVID, but I mean, there have been people that I know that have contracted it, but it's for me, I look at it completely different because
Yeah.
of what we're forced to do now, which is talk and
Well,
be,
like
connecting with others.
like you said earlier, it really forces you to let go of some things that you don't necessarily, some limiting beliefs,
Right.
some things that you don't necessarily need to hold on to,
Hmm.
and really investigate what is it that you really need to do in your life now to bring value and meaning to not only your life but
Hmm.
lives around you.
Right.
And I think it's absolutely critical to do,
Hmm.
kind of reflect on that a little bit more in
Right.
times like this. So, hey,
Yeah.
Marissa, I want to just give a shout out. We got Randall in the house. We got
Randall,
Randall's here. We got
New Orleans.
sleep 7 8 hours is negotiable, is non-negotiable. Health is our
So
main.
true.
Yeah. Chris
So
Stone, thank you so much for being here. Great transparent conversation. Mike Baker is Morning Russ Pirates. Marissa. And then MD Fiverr looking for some work. Everybody's looking for some work. Look at my work. Kenyatta's here. Good morning, Russ, Marissa, Cali on the Pirate broadcast. Mike Baker, thank you so much. Yes, it's about creating relatable content as attraction and building relationships is key.
Mhm.
And LT is in the house. LT,
Hey,
thank you so much
LT.
for joining us, you pirate, you. Hello, Marco. Thank you so much for being here. And then Russ is here. Russ, thank you so much for being here. And LT said, what did LT say? Let's see what he says. Sad, grateful of these times.
Yeah.
Grateful.
Mhm.
I just want to talk about a little bit of a little bit about the idea that what's the next step for us?
Mm. You're
What's the
testing
next step
my.
for
Yeah.
what,
Okay.
what's the what do you see in the future for live streaming and the industry as a whole?
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a little while, and everybody has a thought and a process. And do you see more people interested in live streaming, or do you see
Yeah.
people wondering if it's going to be, you know, something that's a fad, or what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
So I am guilty of overconsumption. I think there is a time and a place for consuming content. But like, what I was saying in the last part about slowing down to speed up, like, I feel like
Hmm.
it's being deconstructed right now. The whole digital world. We're all kind of like figuring out where we need to go in our lane. So I definitely don't think that live streaming is going to slow down. I think technologies are going to get better. People are going to start. Um, I mean, I'm thinking like I'm like a millennial right on the border, right? And
Hmm.
so like people like older than me, like my brother, like doesn't do a lot of social,
I'm like
doesn't.
3 millennials.
Yeah, yeah. And but like think about like the people that are just graduating college and like they're maybe seeing certain entrepreneur paths for them. Tech is really huge. I'm in San Diego, so there's like a big like biotech and like simple, like not simple, regular tech startups here. And
Uh-huh.
these all people are very like tech savvy. Like
Yeah.
they're already like posting videos on their social media. Like TikTok is huge. I don't use TikTok because I just don't have enough time. I'd rather sleep. Um, and I just don't think that it's going to go away. Even maybe in the near future, we're still seeing a slow growth because I think marketers have embraced it. People that
Yeah.
are marketers at heart have embraced it. People that want to grow their brand have embraced it. But
Hmm.
you talk maybe 3-4 years down the line, like I feel like everyone's going to have like a YouTube channel and like businesses, and they're going to be focused on it. It's still a hard sell sometimes with some of the traditional business owners that have been very used to their ways, and
Yeah.
now they're forced. Right now, like I have a client who was doing speaking gigs all over the country, and now it's like, okay, now he has a live show and now he's doing virtual workshops. So it's like, I would luckily was able to help him transition to that, and
Mhm.
I'm very grateful for that. But it's trending that way. Like you have to be digital in some capacity.
Yeah.
And if your core value is to build relationships and keep those strong, and or help attract people to your business, like we were talking about the culture thing, like do you want to work for a business that is like stuck in the old times and doesn't like really like talk about how they can grow as a company, or do they want to attract the top talent from the local engineering firm, right? Like
Yeah.
engineers, you don't think of them doing live streams, but I know you and some people in our network have some um, really interesting live streams for different industries that are super old traditional, like manufacturing, oil and
Mhm.
gas and stuff like that. But they
Right.
are going to attract people that are connected already, because otherwise they're in the dust. You're not going to get the people to want to work for you if you can't evoke what you are as a business and show the culture that you have, that you're willing to adjust to tech.
Well,
So I
and,
think,
and I think especially now there's a certain transparency that people are expecting
mhm,
because of the way video brings out the most in
right,
the quick turn in conversation.
right,
You can get a message out very quickly. You can, show up and share something immediately. And I
mhm,
think a lot of the younger, graduates from college are,
mhm,
they're like you said, the engineers that are exiting, they were born with an iPad in their hand, and,
right,
and it's like they've never been without technology.
mhm,
And where a older, much more traditional businesses still adopting those technologies.
right,
So it's going to take a little while. However, I think the quickest path to get content out there, and if you want to produce content for your business and be seen, be heard, and be talked about, as I say, it's really video is one of the quickest ways to do that. So
mhm,
it's really exciting time, and we're just on the tip of the iceberg as far as I'm concerned, and it's going to continue to grow and expand. So
mhm. Yeah, it's sometimes a struggle to tell people to get on video. especially these traditional, oh, no one wants to see me. But I'm like,
Uh-huh.
but they see you when you go to their office and visit them. So it's the same thing. You just have to think about it like in that sense. Like it's not, you're not here to talk necessarily about your business. You're here to build a relationship. So
Yeah. I want to give a shout out before we leave. Brian, thank you both for sharing your knowledge and experience. Very much appreciated. Randall says, Calvin says hi. Calvin, if you know Randall and Calvin,
yes, I do.
the food. And then Gabriel's in the house learning the art of creating AI and using it as avatars in live streaming. The movie Ready Player One is where we are headed. It's like,
we're living in the Matrix right now.
Living in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
As incorporated VR in our everyday world, I believe video and live streaming will be the preferred method of communication. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Angie's saying, good morning, pirates.
Hi, Angie.
And then Gabriel says, we are only scratching the surface of what streaming and integrating technology will help change the way society and business operates.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that change quickly in, remote medicine, where it used to be, they push back in the industry and say, we're not ready for that. And now in COVID, we're like, yes, we are ready for that.
Yeah, like you have to. I think pre-COVID, I did an eye exam via remote, and I was like,
really?
Whoa, this is so, like the person there, like just moved the machine. I was getting like contacts or something, and then the person on the screen was the doctor. It was just really, really fascinating because I was like, is this just like random? Like you just call into a call center? Like it was just so weird. I think it was just a weird thing because we weren't in like COVID yet. Like this was like, I think last spring or something.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like, oh, that's what you do. You get on.
So many different changes going on all at once. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, Marisa, I really appreciate you being here and sharing a little bit about, your journey, your story, and hopefully people connect with you. If you're not connected with Marisa, connect. Where do you like to be found? Where do you like to hang out?
You can connect with me. LinkedIn. You can go to linkedin.allthesocial.com. It'll go to my page. My name is pretty unique, so if you type it in, it probably should come up. I did find someone that had my same name and was in digital marketing, which was really fascinating.
That is
yeah, crazy. I was like, oh, we were friends. Like we were like pen pals for like a little bit on LinkedIn. So, Marisa Cali on YouTube too.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone, if you're not doing video, I suggest you get involved and engaged in it. If you need help, get a hold of Marisa, or you can get a hold of me.
Yes.
Just make sure that you take the step forward, move towards being comfortable on camera. It's not that scary, and it's like an instrument. It's like any instrument. Just keep practicing it until you get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And pretty soon, next thing you know, you'll be having a show. So.
Yeah. And we all get nervous. Like I get nervous every time right before. So I think that's natural. So
that is natural.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. And as always, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And I want you to enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Be back soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.